senator's daughter flees Rome to live in Antioch, and adventure awaits in Anne Rice's book, Pandora. So a lot of people at the time of the writing of this book were hungry for more. This book is set after Memnoch the Devil and before the vampire Armand. And Pandora is an interesting character to have a book written of. It's the relationship between her and Marius. People wanted to know more about her and who she is. And what's so interesting, that out of all the series, she is a lead in the story, and she's a female vampire, obviously. And so a vampire that is not male gets their own book. And what we always want to know is, who exactly is Pandora other than Marius's true love? And so we find out, again, I won't give everything away, but basically her real name is not Pandora. We discover what her true name really is before she had it changed. But she was the daughter of a senator in Rome. Not a sinister senator, though. And the family was betrayed. Her family was betrayed. And she is told to go to Antioch and hide away there. It was set up during this betrayal. Her father had it planned out that if something happened, that she's going to be provided for in Antioch. And that is where she goes. And when she gets there, she tries to live on her own. She's not used to being the daughter of a senator. She's not used to doing anything by herself and for herself, since she's used to having slaves. And so some of the comedy, and I laughed out loud reading this book, when she was trying to even figure out how to comb her hair and brush her hair, putting on makeup, and she would go out to market looking for new slaves at Antioch, and she couldn't even hardly dress herself. And she had a person who becomes an important part and a character in the series, Flavius, point out to her that her hair is a mess, that she tried to put on rouge on her lips and got it all over her teeth. She had 500 pins in her hair, and it still wasn't holding everything in place. She looked like a walking shining ball. And the funniest thing of all was that she had 3 silk dresses and 3 layers of silk over her body, and you could still see everything. Stuff like that made it funny. And so this woman is very deeply spiritual, more than her family. And her retreat is to always go to the temple of Isis. And when she goes to the temple of Isis at Antioch, she discovers through the priest and priestess there that there is a burnt skeletal man that has been coming and leaving dead bodies at the temple's floors in the mornings. He would kill someone, and in the morning the priest and priestess would come to the temple and find bodies with a strange name written on it that they didn't know what it was saying. But Pandora, through her strange dreams she's been having, may know what is going on and what's written on these dead bodies that are left at the temple floor. So in true Anne Rice fashion, the book is written with vivid imagery. You can see everything that's described in this book. And it has a lot of philosophical and personal things you can tell that the author was dealing with herself in her mind, with things being discussed in this novel, such as, again, Pandora's safety net being her spiritual path. Even though she didn't fully believe in, possibly fully truly believe in what she believed spiritually, when she felt scared or worried, she would retreat to the temple. And so you could see a little imagery in that she finally finds what she believes to be proof of God, and that re-energizes her fervency when it comes to her spiritual beliefs. And so that is what is told in this book. And also, there is interplay between Pandora, who is the spiritual person who believes in deity and supernatural, arguing and having debates with Marius, who is a flat-out atheist. And it made me think of the author Anne Rice and how her husband, Stan, was an atheist, a hardcore, strong atheist. And I'm sure that is kind of the inspiration between the interplay between Marius and Pandora, being based on Stan and Anne's talks about this being spiritually true, and then the other saying it's nonsense and you're not thinking rationally about this. There's a lot of that in there. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. Apparently I've read this before because I had it written down in an old document, and I didn't think highly of it when I read it originally, but reading it again, I picked up on a lot of things that I didn't before. Again, this significance of the spiritual aspect, and just overall a person coming in their own, being completely dependent on others to be forced to live on their own, and they find their own 2 feet and grow to be the person that we know they are now. So overall, you probably give this book a 3.5 or 4 out of 5. There's a lot to it, and like I said, it's just a lot of symbology that came out that I really enjoyed. And I'm a fan of Anne's descriptions of how she can describe a place or a clothes, something someone's wearing, and you can just see it. And this entire book, you could just see the way she uses words. You can just see what the character is seeing. And many times I was reading in this, and I was thinking to myself, this is why I love this author's work. And I really enjoyed myself reading it. And being only 223 pages, it's a very thin book. And in a couple of days at most, if you have some time, you can get through it and read it yourself. And I would definitely recommend it, especially to know a little bit more about said character, because you really don't get her story and in any of the other books. And I wish there were a couple of more vampires that we could have had a back story to know who they are. In particular, Santiago from Interview with a Vampire. That is one vampire I wish we knew more about. And we really get nothing about that character, and sadly never will, other than what was in that original novel. But at least we get to know a little bit more about her. And again, she's more than just Marius's love. So it is worth a reading. And I hope you guys enjoy this review. And I will talk to you later and see you in the next one. Bye.